Hello everyone, my name is Michael SK and welcome back to Robotics Notes Elite. In the last episode, we finished up the Irie route, which has introduced us to Phase 9. And I believe this is just a straight shot to wherever the ending of the game is, but we're done with the character routes from what I understand. Everything kind of points to us being done with all these little character routes, these little side deals, kind of side deals at times, sort of depends on if they're really associated to the plot or not. We're kind of done with them, finally. It took a while, but it looks like now we can be fully committed to the main story here. And just to show that off, because I don't think I did last time, here's our clear list so far. So yeah, there's just one more little thing here to unlock, and I guess that's for whatever we get out of the main story. And it's crazy. I don't know how much more we have left to go here, but we've looked at 197 tips or 200 tips. There's like 17 more to find. There's like half of an entire CG library to find, so there's also that. Yeah, I don't know what's really in store for us here in Phase 9. And to put more of a spin to it, I loaded up the guide. There doesn't seem to be anything else that we absolutely have to respond with in regards to the tweets. So we can respond to those however we want going forward again, which is definitely preferable. But on the guide for Phase 9, it says, depending on what you choose to do at a certain point in this phase, you may encounter a bad end. And if you do, we just use the daily records feature to go back, do the opposite of what we did that led us to that bad ending. And it did say here that if we get the good direction, which I guess will just move us on to Phase 10 and along with the story, we can go back and see, well, what is that bad ending? And I might, maybe, I didn't really intend on getting the bad ending in Chaos Head Noah, but that one's pretty easy to get if you make just like a wrong choice somewhere in like the 6th chapter, I think. And I also avoided some like not so great moments in Steins Gate just because I wanted to get like going with the story. So I'm not actively seeking out bad endings. That's just how I am. But maybe we'll see. I really love giant robots. You guys ever watch the Iron Giant? I did so many years ago that I don't even remember the premise. Which one do you prefer? The white one or the red one? After some intense deliberation, I chose the red one. It was the first plastic model that my dad ever bought for me. The red one. Zaku's red master grade model. Of course, Big Sis chose the original Gunbum. I was only 5 or 6 back then. Dad was going to buy one robot model each for Big Sis and me. But unlike my sister, I knew next to nothing about all the different kinds of robots back then. When Dad asked me if I wanted the white one or the red one, I said the red one on a whim. And so Big Sis ended up with the white one, letting out a triumphant cry of nicely done Aki. The white one is the hero's mech, and it's more popular and taller and looks cooler, but I didn't find that out until later. To me, they were both cool. I was just happy that Dad bought them for us at all. It's almost certainly Dad's fault that I ended up turning into the kindergartner that I was. When we got home, Dad built the plastic models for us. He figured that Mom would definitely complain if he bought them for himself, so he used his kids as an excuse. Hey, you know, that's kind of the, not necessarily for Legos, but anything that requires building. I like to build little shit like this. It's fun. And if you can, use an excuse like this, if there's some sort of, I guess, goal that you could obtain from, doing the build, then yeah, power to him. He looked thrilled as he put together Big Sis's Gunbum and my Zaku. A few months later, and us sisters had become hooked on playing with plastic models. We were obsessed with them, even though they weren't exactly girly. Every time we played together, it would always end the exact same way since Big Sis would enforce her own made-up rules. That was loud.
私が一番 ガンバムをうまく使えるんだ。一番うまく使えるんだ。ビーム！ブッブー。秋野はビーム使えないっていつも言ってるでしょ。ビームはガンバムだけなの。ズッキューン。はい、命中。ずるい。
To grow up with anime, with shonen anime, with Gundam, whatever. I didn't grow up with it like that early, but anime just has that it has that shtick to it.
ずるくない。そっちだって3倍早く動けるんだから。たまにはうちも勝ちたいよ。ダメ。いい秋。正義は必ず勝たなきゃいけないの。それが運命なの。覚えておきなさい。正義は必ず勝つ。かっこいい。わかったよ、お姉ちゃん。うち忘れない。絶対忘れない。
The way Big Sis stood before me, white Gunbum in hand, shining bright with triumphant light, was so incredibly cool. This is how I learned about the rules of victory, and the tragic beauty that was that person's, the pilot of the Red Machine's fall. I'd argue that those play sessions ultimately defined who I am today. It's where me, Big Sis, and the Robotics Club began. So, hey, Big Sis?
待っててね。あと少しで追いつけるから。
I open the curtains vigorously. The gentle sunlight of early spring pours into my room. I look upon the many plastic models and figures that decorate my room one by one. The very first Zaku and Gunbum that Dad bought for us that day are still safely stored here. Those small plastic models are where our journey began. And now at long last, we finally achieved our dreams with our 8-meter-high giant robot. Alright, let's get going. For today is GunBuild-2's first test run. What's the date? Oh, whoa, alright. Goodbye Christmas. Goodbye 2019. Hello 2020 in late January. Wowzers. The sky is clear and blue. Also, yeah, if we're following similar patterns, if you will, to how all these routes went, or at least most of them, it looks like Akiho is now going to have the spotlight as a heroine. I mean, she is the main heroine, so I don't know if she's going to get roped necessarily into the plot. It's very possible because, you know, with what Kaito's been up to this entire game, you know, it's possible she might get roped into it. Whatever direction the plot really goes into, but yeah, she's probably going to be filling up that last, you know, space out of the 5, or at least that's my assumption. The crisp winter weather isn't too bad. The exam takers should be face first in their entrance exams at Kagoshima University right about now. As for me, I ended up spending New Year's without having chosen my post-graduation career path. Post-grad unemployment is pretty much a given now. Needless to say, my parents really got on my ass about it at the end of the year. Surprisingly, once I go to Tokyo for the expo, I don't think I'd mind setting up camp over there. Things will work out fine even if I don't go on to college. Nah, even I know I'm probably being naive.
Kai? 何ぼーっとしてるの?
Who knows. Oh, let's jump on Twitter. Or X, whatever you guys want to call it now. Less than a month until the expo. Everyone has to be there today. That's an order, Frau Bao 2. But I refuse. Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. We have an emergency meeting in the morning today. I'm so hyped right now. It's finally done. They really did it in such a short amount of time. Kids these days. It's been 8 years. My dream of being the first president of the club was fulfilled in my second year after being a supervisor. I helped raise the current members. Way to go, first president. I'm gonna be late to the meeting. Moving steady to expo opening. Whatever that is, Giant 2? Or is that with a G? I really don't know there. By Renault Renault, whatever the fuck, from France is the first one to arrive. We know the reference. We get to see, I'm gonna go with Giant 2. I don't know if it has a specific pronunciation. Unless the characters actually, speak it, I won't really know. This is exciting. Hurry up and open the expo. It's literally a super robot war, but with no fighting. I mean, more than 10 robots are gathering in Odaiba, right? It's the first time in history. As the generation that watched mecha anime, I can't keep my cool. I want to see Prince X by... that's Toyota, I think. These damn references. Don't be all jolly, the capital is still not fully back up from the solar storm. We shouldn't be doing an expo right now. If we had money, it should be used for repairs. You're showing a pretty side by talking about Robot Expo and whatnot, but the number of homeless people in Tokyo is at its highest in history. How do you explain that, Mr. Governor? There are more robots recently, right? Aqualiner is opening, but it's run by robots too, right? The number of robots are increasing, but at the same time, more robots are getting destroyed. Ah, lovely. Now, what's going on here? When I hear things like that, I picture Tokyo's peace and order getting worse. How is it doing? I live in this city, but it hasn't changed much. I feel that if it had been worse, the city would be at its end, excuse me. It still has a calm look to it. There are still a lot of people out at night. Is it really okay to open the expo like this? Yeah, sure, why not? Alright, Mr. Nightheart-san, what is going on here? I just realized I used son and Mr. That made no fucking sense. This is an article from a while back, but I heard a little girl who was in a coma for 10 years was recently discovered. My delusions are running wild. I mean, if cold sleep becomes common, I could legally marry it. Fucking son of a bitch. God damn it. No, yes, you are wrong. If you freeze a 10-year-old girl for 10 years, you get a 20-year-old lolly because her body stops growing. No, that's not how that works. No. No. Lightning Fast Nightheart She is preaching about dreams for an otaku, and fucking shit, Daru, no. I had high hopes for you. They're all being dashed. See what I did there? Legal lolly is the utopia that all men, all warriors strive for. Everyone knows that. No one will be able to judge you anymore. What? Why would I ever lay my hands on my own daughter? She's my angel. I won't let anyone touch her. I won't allow any dirty hands to touch her. Wait, but doesn't that mean me too? I have dirty hands. What do I do? That means I can't have my relaxing bath time with my daughter anymore. God, fuck. Nightheart and Dash, could you not? If you're going to continue spewing out your nonsensical delusions, I will crack your heads open and jam electrodes in there. I can't believe you're both still acting like this at your ages. Thank you, Kirisu. But I think it'll take a while until a cold sleep machine would be available. The biggest risk comes when you detoast. It's defrost. Screwed up. I think it's possible to place someone in cold sleep with recent scientific advancements, but the hard part is thawing. You would have to do human experimentation and then find out what kind of results you get. I'm pretty sure if you went to recruit test subjects that there'll be tons all around the world. I think it's tech that's really desired, but scientists have morals and refuse to move forward with the tech because of that. It's the same as blaspheming God. Besides, if the source is Sports Tokyo, which that is true, it's likely 99% fake. I mean, the tester was a beautiful little girl. Stuff like this isn't a fairy tale or some otaku's delusions, you know? Okay. A few things. Yeah, we know it's true. We know that this is something that happened. Why it was a Sports Tokyo, is that supposed to be like an actual like sports article sort of deal? And they're just covering this for some reason? Or is it just a really shitty like media source? I don't know. Besides that, yeah, this whole legal lolly nonsense was kind of, dealt with in Steins Gate Zero. There's petite women in the world, that aren't they the legal lollies, above the age of 18? So why, Daru? Come on. I had very high hopes for him. I thought he grew, but no, he's still Daru deep down in there, which isn't good, but whatever. Okay, back to this. Akiho comes up beside me and peeks at my face. Despite being in the same hot water as I am, Madame President over here is totally cool and collected. Or she's probably just not thinking about it. I'm guessing she's too focused on the robot to be worried about anything else.
今日は結構あったかいなって思ってね。んで、原付は止めてきた？
うん。今日は起動テストするから、ようやく回の出番だよ。よろしくね。
でも俺、完成した2号機をまだ見てないんだけど。
だったら、今日これからたっぷり見ればいいよ。見た目はともかく、パフォーマンスはガンツク1より圧倒的に向上してるんだから、絶対回もたぎるはずだよ。
Akiho is in a really good mood today. She's clearly confident about how Model 2 turned out.
起動テストってことはさ、例によってめんどくさいギャラリーがたくさん詰めかけてきてるわけ？
それはない。アメ社長もね、ガンツク1の時で懲りたみたいだから、今回はガンツク2がまともに動くのを確認してから島のみんなにお披露目するんだって。
That is smart. She's referring to the president of Space Candy, Mr. Nagafukata Sumiyo. Akiho calls him Mr. Candy for short.
それに、
I
こ
kind
んな
of
島
made
の
that
端っこまで
connection.
わざわざ見に来るような人はさすがにいないよ。
We arrive at the entrance to the building to find Juna and Frau waiting for us.
ヤシオくん、アキホちゃん、おはよう。
What's with the grim looks? Juna nods her head, a troubled expression on her face. Frau is clinging to Juna's legs. She looks pale as a ghost.
コナちゃん、具合悪いの？
長深田先生の運転で酔っちゃったみたい。
Juna points to the Thunder Emperor parked near the gate. Michi's sitting in the driver's seat with the window open so that all may hear his outrageous snores.
ゲロ吐きそう。あのクソコモン、運転荒すぎわろた。いや、笑えん。だから言ったじゃん。ミッチーの車で送ってもらうなんて自殺行為だって。
Frau got a taste of Michi's driving the very day she moved here. She really needs to hurry up and get a scooter license.
スバルは？もう中だよ。1時間前には来てたみたい。早っ！真面目だな。感心感心。カイ、同じ男子として見習ったら？
それって俺に対する頼みなわけ？
Oh, here we go. It's been a while. Akiho immediately realizes what I'm getting at, the expression on her face screaming, "Aw, crap."
そういうことなら、まず俺と勝負して。
もういいって。じゃあ、フラウボー、行こう。
Akiho grabs Juna and Frau by the hands and pulls them inside the building.
張り合いないな。
Granted, she knows better than anyone how that would go. In that sense, she made the right choice. Actually, I wonder if Nai-san is here today. I'd love to get a set-in if possible. Model 2 isn't at the top of my list of priorities. I'll just leave Michi in the car. Yeah, nothing is... Whoa. Nothing is being missed by leaving Michi behind. As soon as I entered the building, I met with a blast of cool air and a completely finished giant robot. Is that the face?
じゃじゃーん！これがガンツクプロジェクト試作2号機！略してガンツク2でーす！
へえ、すごいな。
I mean, it looks a lot better than the first one, that's for certain. Just the face is a little interesting. It honestly feels like Model 2 just kind of popped out of nowhere since I had so little to do with the construction. That is true. I feel like, yeah, I mean, the whole robot building aspect of the story is important. And we got a lot of that in, I guess, the completion of GunBuild-1. For GunBuild-2, it's like, all right, character routes. So we just were never here. That being said, I did see the process unfold to a certain extent, I suppose. Assembly of Model 2 ramped up toward the end of last year. Its appearance practically oozes with the personality of its designer, Subaru. It definitely loses out to Model 1 in terms of charm and impact. The first thing that pops out is how slim the body is. I mean, just look at the legs. There are open spaces in the shins. A complete 180 from Model 1's thick-ass legs. Plus, it just overall feels more robotic, if that makes any sense. It lacks any kind of decorative additions, like it was assembled with only the most necessary of parts. Basically, it looks like a robot for industrial use, not one that you would see in an anime. It does have a head, but only so it can hold an omnidirectional camera and sensors. It has no... Wait.
さ、頭に貼り付けられてる紙みたいなのって何?
Stuck to Model 2's boorish rectangular head is a piece of paper with something that looks like a face on it.
顔。
顔?
見たまんまだよ。あと、紙じゃなくて布だから。あの顔は、うちのささやかな抵抗の跡なの。
For whatever reason, Akiho starts to pout.
スバルが顔に角とか目とかつけるの認めてくれないんだもん。せめて額の星型だけでも取り付けさせてほしいって言ったんだけど、あのスターはガンバレルの象徴なんだよ。わかるでしょ?
Nope, not at all. She should really be asking someone who is familiar with GunBuild, aka not me.
でもダメって言われた。
なんか全体的に安っぽいね。
でしょ?
ロボ1号機はもっとひどかったけど。
Akiho glares at me, but I just let her eye lasers bounce right off of me.
あんな顔、誰も可愛いと思わないよ。
思わないからなんです?
Subaru appears from the back room. He walks over to us and bows his head in the most half-assed way possible.
おはようございます。
Honestly, it's been a while since we've actually, talked with Subaru. It's been a bit. Anything on Twitter? Nope. Thought I'd check. I'm just trying to keep my eyes out for any additional tweets as we transition from scene to scene.
で、また不毛な議論を蒸し返すつもりですか?
不毛な議論って?
顔を作るか作らないかですよ。そんな話に丸一日も付き合わされたんです。
ああ、アキちゃんってそういうところはこだわりたがるからね。
顔はロボの命だとかなんとか散々文句を言われましたよ。実にナンセンスですね。そもそもモデルにガンバレルを使うのもやめた方がいいと言ってるくらいなのに。
なんで?
去年夏以降のスキャンダルはヤシオ先輩だって知ってるでしょう。
Oh, of course.
今ガンバレルがどれだけ叩かれているか。
Oh, that. I'm not sure if it's a good idea to talk about the final episode in front of Frau or not. The subject is pretty delicate. The contents of the leaked episode, as well as the reveal that 13 staff members had mysteriously died, not to mention Kagura Minami's message. The GunBuild scandal continues to be debated across the entire world. Subaru's not mistaken that this is the worst possible time to model an Expo robot after GunBuild. But...
ガンバレルは絶対に譲れない。これだけは絶対。
I knew Akiho would say that.
そもそもガンバレル以外の 3D モデル持ってないし。
ええ、その辺は全部聞きました。だからそこはしょうがないとしても、ロボの命は顔じゃありません。性能です。
それは違うよ、スバル。特に二足歩行ロボットにはね、性能以上に容姿が重要だと思う。でなきゃわざわざ無駄で効率の悪い人の形にする意味がないもん。
確かに対人コミュニケーション用としては必要ですが、それはあくまで基本システムがきちんと確立されてからの話です。だいたい設計図の段階でも顔はなかったのに、ほぼ出来上がってから急に言い出すのはどうかと思いますよ。医療で見ればちゃんとそこにガンバレルがいるし、顔だってあるんです。それでいいじゃないですか。
でもさ、現物に可愛さが全然足りないって思わない？
Well, that's to be expected with the direction that we went with here.
ガンツクワンはね、足も太いし性能もどうしようもなかったけど、それでも可愛げはあったよ。やっぱりロボの命は顔なんだってば。ねえ、ジュンもそう思うよね。
私
Juna is flustered at the sudden cue to speak. Way to put her on the spot.
そうかも。
そうかも。大徳先輩は部長に賛成なんですか？
私は。
Juna fidgets for a bit before decisively looking up.
私も可愛い方がいいと思う。その方が思い入れしやすいし。
Wow, not bad for an introvert, Juna. I don't think she's ever expressed her opinion to Subaru so concisely before. That's the character development. I'm, in a way, kind of glad that these character routes that we went through, the developments that we saw with the characters actually move forward. That's actually a really nice thing to see here.
古氷はどうだ？
割とどうでもいい。
Well,
ヤシオ先輩は？
俺はどっちかっていうと性能かな。全一狙うためにはキャラ性能って結構重要だったりするからさ。あまりにも性能が悪すぎるキャラを選ぶのはマニアックとかチャレンジャーとかじゃなくて単なるマゾだね。
2対2、危険1ですか。決着はつかずです。結局のところこの議論は設計思想やロボットに対する捉え方に対立軸が行き着くんですよね。
いや、好みの問題じゃないの？
ですね。そういう言い方でもいいです。そしてそれは僕がロボ部に入ってから、いや入る前からずっとやり合っている話で、おそらく今ここで話しても平行線のままで終わるでしょう。
he has a point. Neither of them plan to back down even in the slightest bit.
顔の件はあれだけ話し合って決着は一度ついたんです。それで我慢してください。
Okay, my personal opinion, because I'm going to throw that in, why not? I do think it should have a face. Not something that is like drawn on or something, but like, just give it a head. Just give it something that actually makes it look more like a robot instead of just a big ass fucking cube with a drawn face. That just kind of looks silly. Everything here looks really well done, and then you get up to that and it's like, huh?
僕だって不本意ながらも妥協案を出したじゃないですか。
That face cloth is supposed to be a compromise?
というか、あそこまで完膚なきまでに論破したのに、部長はよく証拠りもなく僕に反論できますね。少しは僕の考えについて理性的な反撃ができるんですか？できるなら聞きますが。
Wait, why us?
なんで俺に八つ当たりするんだよ。
She messed up my hair. Again. Why did she attack Subaru? Had absolutely nothing to do with any of this.
反論はできないから起動テストを始めよう。
分かってもらえてよかったです。
いつかスバルをコテンパンに言いまかして泣かせてやるんだから。
I don't see that happening in our lifetime.
では起動テストについての注意点を僕の方から。
その前に。
Juna timidly raises her hand.
まだ天のおじさんが来てないけど、始めちゃってもいいのかな。
Nai-san isn't the only one absent. Nobody from JAXA is present, actually.
そういえばそうだね。珍しいな。いつもなら集合時間より早めに来てるのが普通なのに。まあでも諸注意と、あと操縦方法の説明くらいはしておいても大丈夫でしょう。今日の起動テスト、主役はカイト・ジュンだからね。操縦方法ちゃんと覚えておいて。
Controls, huh? If this were a match, they'd be the most important thing to remember if I wanted to win.
では改めて説明します。オペレーター、サブオペおよび駆動システム担当者はきちんと聞いておいてください。古氷、君のことだ。ちゃんと聞いてくれ。
だが断る。
こと。
そんなわけで続きをどうぞ。
Yeah, it's just one of her stupid ass lines.
ここまではほぼ僕と部長だけが働いていたようなものですが、今日からはバトンを渡しますんで、明日以降は 万博への搬送に入るまでおよそ1ヶ月、3人にたっぷりとセッティングを詰めていってもらいます。きっちり仕上げないと万博でグランプリをもらえないと思ってください。
おっす。
はいはい。
だが断る。
Again, one of her stupid
もうそ
lines.
れはいいから。
しょぼーん。
Frau lowers her shoulders. I'll just leave her be.
頑張れる試作2号機の特徴としては、
Subaru pauses for a second and quickly glances around the room.
モノポールモーター。これを使っているのが最大の特徴です。この電動式モーターを採用したことで、1号機とは比べ物にならないほどの高い運動性を実現しました。1号機と同じ感覚で操縦すると、あまりの動きの速さに驚くと思います。駆動システムについては、僕の M45 で使っていた姿勢制御ソフトをフルゴールに改造してもらいました。端的に言うと、リアルタイムでの3次元スキャニングと医療のストリートビューイング機能等を連動させた位置測定、姿勢制御機能ですね。
According to Subaru's explanation, here's the basic rundown. Model 2 is equipped with 3D scanners on both shoulders. By scanning its surroundings, the AI automatically controls the robot's posture. Not only that, but apparently it's synced up with the Iruo Street View app. The photos that users all over the world upload onto Iruo are taken with the 3D camera installed on Pokecoms. Basically, though it may be artificial, the Iruo Street View app is digitized in 3D. By referencing this data, Model 2 can more precisely identify the terrain.
画期的なのは、入力されたコマンドに対して AI が未来予測を行い、あらかじめオペレーターにその予測結果を提示してくれるということ。これにより、危険な動きにつながりそうな時は、事前に緊急停止する余裕が生まれるんです。大した動作はできない試作2号機においては、宝の持ち腐れかもしれませんがね。いずれにせよ、遠隔操縦のおかげで安全性はかなり上がってます。1号機よりずっと安全ですよ。
I'm extremely grateful to Subaru for that. Back when I piloted Model 1, I thought I was gonna piss myself in terror.
それで、この試作2号機を動かす上で必要な操作が2つあります。1つはコマンド入力。これはフルゴーリの作ったキルバラシステムを導入しました。操縦感覚はヤシオ先輩がロボ案で使った種子島シンとほぼ同じです。
種子島新さんかいね。
Subaru completely ignores Akiho's nitpicking.
あらかじめ登録しておいたコマンドに対応した動作のみをロボ2号機は実行します。なので自由に好き勝手な動きをさせられるわけじゃありません。今のところ登録されているコマンドは基本動作が3つ、特殊動作が1つだけです。これはセッティングの段階で必要に応じて増やしていってください。ちなみにコマンドはキルバラや種子島シンよりも難易度を上げています。これは安全性を考えた結果です。これだけの大きさだと事故が起きた時に大惨事になりかねませんから、うっかり誤入力してしまうのを避ける狙いがあります。で、コマンド入力とは別に1号機にはなかった操作が2号機には必要でして、それがあそこに置いてあるレーザ銃座です。
Sitting by the base of Model 2's foot is what looks like a missile launch pad or some kind of gun emplacement. A cylindrical device about 2 meters long is being supported by a pedestal. At the end of the device is a handle and a set of buttons. It's connected to a large generator via a thick cord. What the hell is this thing? Yeah, my thoughts
レーザー光
exactly.
送電装置です。ドクの趣味のせいでこんな物騒なデザインになってしまいましたが、これを2号機のパラボラアンテナへ向けて照射することで電力を送ります。
Oh.
今後2号機の操縦と送電についてはヤシオ先輩と大徳先輩2人のオペレーターで交互に担当してください。
As soon as he finishes speaking, Juna's expression clearly stiffens.
注意点としては人に向けてはいけないということです。
Yeah, we heard all about the dangers of that thing when we decided on how to power Model 2. I'm actually surprised we're going with this direction. This one seemed like one we probably shouldn't go for, but alright. Apparently it doesn't take much to kill someone with it. So, needless to say, neither myself nor Juno wants that kind of responsibility.
私
人殺しちゃう威力なんでしょ。
Honestly, when you think of it in a different way, these guys all ride scooters, right? Those can be powerful enough to kill somebody. If you're going fast enough, if you hit them straight on accident, it could, seriously injure them at the very least. So, yeah, I mean, we do a lot of things in our daily lives that could most definitely hurt people, but we're cautious not to. I think a better example, but nobody here drives, is, driving a car. You can absolutely fucking kill people with a car, but we take care not to. So as long as they, use their brains, like I'm sure they're all going to, nothing should go wrong. Supposedly. Why would anyone in their right mind allow some uncertified high schoolers to use something like that?
ああ、その点は大丈夫。ちゃんとね、安全装置をつけてもらったの。ガンツク2のパラボラアンテナに照準が当たってる時だけレーザーが発射される仕組みになってるんだ。ちょっとでも照準が外れたら自動的にレーザーは止まっちゃうの。あと本番ではこの銃座をもっとコンパクトで小さなものに変更する予定。お父さんの知り合いのメーカーさんにね、試作品を作ってもらってるからもうちょっと待ってて。
Huh. Cool. That should make it harder for accidents to happen, yeah, honestly. And, going back to the car example, it's like how newer cars, I'm going to use Toyota for an example, or I guess also Tesla, they have all these advancements and shit for safety, so that, you don't actually run somebody over if they're crossing the street, or you don't accidentally, run right into a car or some shit. There's a video I saw on Twitter, actually, or X, or whatever the fuck, where a Tesla, as it was, starting to drive through an intersection as the light turned green, there was a car crash that was, happening and going to involve that Tesla that was starting to go through the intersection, but it recognized this shit coming, so it stopped. And it completely avoided the wreck. So, yeah, safety features do exist, and they do help. Sometimes. They're not perfect. Juna sighs in very evident relief.
もちろん稼働時には JAXA の人に監督してもらうつもり。ちょっとでも危険だって判断したら止めてもらうようにお願いしてあるよ。ただレーザー光送電はね、出力がそんなにないからずっと送電し続けてないとすぐに電力切れになっちゃうの。しかもガンツク2はパフォーマンス中上下左右に動き回るでしょ。そんな状態でも正確にパラボラアンテナに狙いを定める腕が必要になる。こればっかりは練習あるのみかも。カイはそういうのゲームで慣れてそうだけど。
どうかな。
Having good aim is key to doing well in first-person shooters, but Kill Ballad is a fighting game. The genre is completely different.
でもレーザー銃座の操作は俺の方が向いてるだろうね。そういうことならメインオペレーターは純ちゃんがやれば。
That way I can focus on the laser and Juna can focus on moving Model 2 around.
そんな、私はサブでいいよ。
Juna hesitantly shakes her head back and forth.
だってさっきレーザー銃座にはあからさまに拒否反応を見せてたじゃないか。
それは危険かもって思ったからで、説明聞いたら安全そうだし平気。
ジュンがメインオペレーターならアメ社長も喜ぶんじゃない？
Oh yeah, that's right. He's been fond of Juna since the Model 1 days. He might even give us more money if Juna steps up to the plate as the main operator.
本当に私はサブでいいの。操縦はヤシオくんみたいに上手な人がやるべきで。
2号機はホビーロボとはわけが違います。技術は一切求められない。誰でも操縦できるとも言えます。必要な時に必要なコマンドを入力さえすればいい。ある意味客寄せパンダです。2号機のオペレーターにはそれ以上の役割はありません。
Four Eyes, you could at least try to be a little thoughtful with how you word things. He basically just told Juna that she brings nothing to the table and can be easily replaced.
少なくともヘラヘラしていて態度だけでかい男子よりは
Is that supposed to be me?
小柄で小動物的な女子の方が観客受けはいいでしょう。
スバル、それじゃ褒めてるのかけなしてるのかわかんないよ。
It sounds like a weird mix of both, but mostly the latter.
せめてジュンは可愛いからメインオペレーター向きだって言ってあげればいいのに。
言えるわけないでしょ。
ごめんなさい。
Why is Juna apologizing?
とにかく私としてはヤシオくんと2人で一緒に頑張っていきたいなって。いきなりメインに抜擢されても困っちゃうっていうか。というわけでこのままサブで。
純ちゃんがそこまで言うならしょうがないか。
And so ends my master plan to push all of the responsibility onto her. Man, Juna really is nothing but earnest, huh?
じゃあこれまで通りオペレーターはメインがカイでサブがジュンね。2人とも操縦方法とレーザー銃座のコツ頑張って両方覚えること。っていうかオペレーター2人だけじゃなくて部員は全員覚えた方がいいかも。
We should avoid a situation where Model 2 doesn't work because one of us is out of the count.
すみません、お待たせしちゃって。
Hey yo, it's Nai. It's then that Nai-san finally shows up. She apologetically lowers her head time and time again.
ちょっと会議が長引いちゃいました。
会議？日曜日なのに？
まあ。
Is it just me or is she trying to avoid talking about it?
それより起動テストもう始めるんですよね。春中さんもすぐ来ますからサクサクと準備しちゃいましょう。ファイト！おー！
Whoa. Nai-san shoots her fist into the air. She's just as excited as Akiho is today.
それじゃあ次はフラウボーに操縦方法を説明してもらおうかな。
Frau is sitting by the wall. When called, she sluggishly rises to her feet. She looks a little bit better, maybe?
キルバラと同じって前から何度も言ってたっしょ、上皇。
それは分かってるけど全く同じってわけじゃないでしょ。
そうは優雅な大佐。説明も何もコマンド表配ればそれで OK じゃね。はい、ヤシオ先輩。
What the fuck? Why? Frau, keeping her head lowered, sneaks a small piece of paper into my hand. Why is she pretending this is some kind of secret? On the piece of paper are 5 different commands. Advance, strafe, 90-degree turn, crouch, pose. As Subaru mentioned earlier, all of the commands require at least 3 button inputs. The controls are annoyingly precise and feel like ones that you'd find on a character designed for pro players. It'll take some practice, but as long as I get the timing down, I should be fine. Should be a piece of cake compared to KB. The only exception is the crouch command. This one requires 2 inputs. I quickly memorized the commands and passed the list to Juna.
決めポーズっていうのが万博でやるパフォーマンス用のコマンドね。
Okay, so the rest of this recording will be done by a future me because I am not really tired, but my throat is like actually killing me. I don't know why. I hope I'm not getting sick. I really hope I'm not. So future Michael will deal with the remaining bit of this episode. How do I get to another page? How do I get to the... Oh, there we go. Scroll wheel. Yeah, I'm out of slots here, and I guess I could just start saving over, but fuck it. Yeah, future me will finish off this session, get going with this test, and see if any crazy shit happens. Take it from here, future Michael. Alrighty, let's get right back to it. Is there anything that I need to look at in tweets? No? It's a whole new day, so I don't really remember what we were last talking about. I think we're getting ready to do this test.
コマンドを入れることで一連の動きをセットでやってくれるの。だいたい20秒くらいの動作だよ。
Apparently, Juna's mocap performance has already been programmed into the system.
フラ 今は撃砕第一の調整中なんだっけ？
Frau nods.
一応ね、もう一つ純の型をパフォーマンス用に取り入れる予定。それについてはフラウボーの作業待ちなんだ。万博開催中にもモーションはどんどん増やしていこうかなって思ってる。
ちなみに指とか動かす予定は今のところありませんから。
物をつかめるようには作ってありますがね。
無駄機能だね。
今後のアップデートの余地があると思ってもらえれば。
一昨日ぐらいにみんなのポケコンにキルバラシステムをダウンロードしてもらったよね。ちゃんと落とした？
Wonder how many KB apps we've downloaded so far. Frau messaged me about it the day before yesterday, and I've already downloaded it.
それ起動させるとスカスカ頑張れるの目とつながるから。
スカスカ頑張れる？
前のは寸胴頑張れる、今回のはスカスカ頑張れるっていう。
Her naming sense leaves something to be desired.
ちなみにキルバラシステムみんなが一斉に立ち上げると同時接続可能な件。ただコントロール可能なのは最初に接続した一人だけ。コントロールを他の人に預けたいときは一度ログアウトすれば OK。 そしたら2番目に接続した人にコントロール移る。
自動検出？
イグザクトリー。その通りでございます。
Despite making endless excuses, Frau really came through for us with an impressive system. About what I would expect from our genius programmer.
じゃあロボ2号機はもう動かせる？
まだです。今は天井クレーンから吊るされてる状態なので、試作2号機は自立はできないんです。ホビーロボと同じですよ。電源を入れて初めて各モーターにパワーが入るんです。そこでやっと自立できる。
When it's not turned on, it doesn't have the necessary power to keep itself standing, just like a newborn baby. Without power, the joints and the legs can't withstand its own weight. They'd be crushed flat under it all. Supplying power gives the robot enough juice to keep itself standing upright. Electrical power will be supplied to the robot via laser to its parabolic antenna. Said antenna is on Model 2's back. Its back is currently against the wall, so it can't receive power. In order to power it up, the Model 2 has to be moved to the center of the building via the ceiling crane. According to Subaru's explanation, GunBuild-2 executes the crouch command automatically upon shutting down. He also informs us that whenever we finish operating it, we always have to end it in the crouch state, or else it'll topple over and we would have problems.
では準備を始めましょう。楽しみですね。
Nai-san calls out to us with a huge smile on her face. She might be the most excited person in the room. I mean, this is big. This is everything they've been working towards for, surprisingly not too long, but they have put in a lot of effort nonetheless. A lot of late hours, I am sure. But I can only assume that because we've been off doing other things. Even I'm getting amped up somehow. As per the usual, Harunaka-san, operates the ceiling crane and pulls Model 2 to the center of the room. I'm on support duty for Juna, who is currently in charge of the laser gun. Juna holds the grip at the end of the gun and presses the irradiation button? Alright. Or irradiation. One of the two. Either way, it's the shooting button. At that point, the device still does nothing. Looks like the safety mechanism is working properly. Right next to us is a power generator about the size of a light motor vehicle running at full capacity. This outputs a large amount of energy. The merit of wireless electricity transmission is that this thing doesn't have to be loaded into the robot's body. Model 2 was built specifically to perform at the expo, so the generator doesn't need to be able to move around. And so, while we end up having to use this annoying laser transmission system, the robot also loses a dramatic amount of weight. And in regards to the laser gun, it has proper iron sights, much like a real gun. That is actually a very interesting sight. I mean, look, it's smart. It's just quite the sight. I tell Juna to aim down the sights and point the tip toward the parabolic antenna on Model 2. Juna moves it as told and aligns the iron sights within the antenna, or with the antenna. A visible red laser beam immediately and silently fires out of the gun.
すごい。
And I guess if it hits anywhere on the dish, because of how the dish is, or the antenna, it's gonna bounce right where it needs to.
これ触ると皮膚とか溶けちゃうのか。
I'll definitely be keeping my distance. The beam hits the dish of the parabolic antenna and gathers in one place through the condensing lens.
バッテリー充填開始。一応起動はできると思われ。
スバルガンツク2を下ろして。
Subaru asks Harunaka-san to operate the crane, and Model 2's dangling feet are slowly lowered to the ground.
それじゃあガンツク2電源入れるよ。
The most tense part of the test is here. The only person in our audience is Nai-san. The JAXA workers who advised us and Mr. Senomiya aren't here for some reason. We asked Doc to come, but he said that he was busy developing some new equipment or something. Michi is asleep in the car parked outside, and Mr. Candy isn't here either. We didn't advertise this to the public, so nobody's here to watch this go down. Which is probably for the best, though a little lonely. Which means that right now, it's just the 5 Robotics Club members, Nai-san, and Harunaka-san on the crane, 7 people total. Akiho looks far more composed than she did during the Model 1 test. Juna, once terrified of robots, is firmly gripping the laser gun, holding her breath and watching Model 2 attentively. Even our resident shut-in Frau is present and accounted for. Despite the tough situation with his dad, Subaru is here nonetheless, albeit in secret. 4 months have passed since summer came and went. The Robotics Club's finally grown a little. Subaru, Frau, and Juna. We freely made use of their strength, cooperated with them. The 5 of us, although I didn't really do anything, built this new giant robot and are trying to breathe life into it. Akiho shoves her hand into her skirt pocket and reverently pulls out a switch that fits in the palm of her hand. Sorry guys, I almost had a stroke. On the black rectangular box is a round red button. Nice and simple. Is that the activation switch for Model 2? We could have used cloud computing to manage the drive system. Not only would we have been able to control Model 2 from a Pokécom, we'd be able to turn the power on and off as well. However, after the incident in Tokyo with yeah, honestly, I was just about to bring this up. Why the fuck would we want to use cloud computing after everything that went down there? Honestly. That is the reason why the power switch is this clunky, unimpressive button. I have next to no idea how it works though. But in terms of creating a sense of mystique, it might actually be just right.
起動テスト最終判断をナイさんお願いします。
はい、起動テストは GO です。
Nai-san seems really into this. Well, yeah, I mean, this was kind of her idea, or something that she kind of like pulled the strings to get going. After hearing her response, Akiho looks at me and nods firmly.
ガンツクプロジェクト試作2号機電源起動リフトオフ。
With her declaration, Akiho forcefully pushes the button in her hand. And yep, we do get something here. All of the motors in Model 2 begin creaking to life as the drive starts up. It kind of looks like a sleepy old man waking up and slowly standing up to attention. Although I suppose that's not just limited to old dudes. The 3D scanners on the robot's shoulders shoot narrow laser beams at the walls and floor.
あのレーザーは人殺さない？
大丈夫。あれは単なる赤外線レーザーだよ。
スカスカ頑張れる。起動したお。OS 正常に作動中。レーザースキャナー周辺マップデータロード開始。スキャンも展開中。
Frau is apparently receiving telemetry data. She looks at her Pokécom and reads out the information.
バッテリー充電率は 0.5%。送電止めたら即停止するレベル。
それは責任重大かな。
空手先輩、しっかり狙っといて。
おす。
でもまあとりあえずこれで普通に動かせるわけだが、現在のコントロールはヤシオ先輩のポケコンだを。
竹
アキちゃん興奮しすぎ。
ワイヤー外します。
Yeah, keep that laser pointed right where it needs to be pointed there, Juna. The wires connecting Model 2 to the ceiling crane all detach. The scaffolding is also moved away. As of right now, Model 2 is completely standing on its own. Not only that, it shows no signs of falling over either.
ここまでは順調だよ。さあ、カイ、記念すべき第一歩を。
I guess it's a good thing it's not falling over. We're standing right in front of it. Model 2's control priority rests with my Pokecom, meaning only I can control it. I start up the Kill Ballad System app. I'm asked to register the camera's neutral position.
最初にカメラのニュートラルポジション登録よろ。それをするとポケコンのジャイロとカメラの向きが同期するんで。
I hold my Pokecom up to my face and register that as the neutral position. Oh. On the monitor, I see the inside walls of the building from a position 8 meters off the ground. It's real-time footage from the omnidirectional camera on top of Model 2's head.
種子島シンの時よりキルバラっぽさが出てる。
デュフフ、もちろんそうよ。
ポケコンを上下左右に向ければカメラもそっち方向を映すよ。
Neat. I do like how they did this whole like 3D thing in here now. It kind of makes some sense. We actually needed this. Did we need it in Chaos Head Noah? I don't know about that. I try it out and the scenery on screen moves accordingly. Where are we? Did I read the entire bit of that? I don't think I did. Yeah, when I tilt it downward, I can see Akiho looking up. Sorry, guys. I guess I am what you call stupid. I also spot Juna gripping the laser gun and both Frau and I fiddling with our Pokecoms.
ガンツク2の顔の向きとはさすがに連動してないけどね。
The face is just decorative after all. Plus, since it's an omnidirectional camera, there's no need to move it. Even I understand that. Excuse
まずは
me.
前進してみるよ。
よろしく頑張れる発進。
Should we be this close, you know, to the robot and everything? Like, there's a lot of space, like, yonder over there. I quickly input the advance command. It reacts immediately. There's some movement, kinda. Model 2's body shakes as its many motors activate before it leans slightly to the left. It lifts its right foot up. Then the right leg smoothly takes a step forward. The joints are in the ankle, knee, and groin. The servo motors in both legs work together perfectly with the sound of gears turning together, erupting forth. Oh, yep, that's movement right there. Nice. The right foot lands on the ground and the left side returns to its neutral in response. Just like that, its body is perfectly parallel again. Then the body leans to the right. This time the left foot rises up. It continues on and moves forward. It stops moving when both legs are side by side again. This series of motions is attached to the advance command. It took a little over 10 seconds for Model 2 to walk 2 steps. But compared to Model 1, a huge difference. The whole process was so smooth that it felt like something made by professionals. I think back on Model 1 6 months ago and how much of a struggle it was for it to take a single step.
どう？ねえカイ、どう？
And then the engine died. Any new tweets, by the way? I forgot to look. Oh, yep. Is the Space Candy logo on Model 2? Please confirm. I don't think it is, man. I don't think it is.
すげえ。1号機の鈍足っぷりとは大違いじゃないの。
Naisan's cheeks are flushed in excitement as she claps her hands in fierce applause.
すごかったです。感動しちゃいました。
I will say, for Kaito to be as impressed as he is, that's huge. That's big.
とても高校生が作ったとは思えない技術力ですよ。それだけロボ部の皆さんが優秀だっていうことですね。私の目に狂いはなかったです。
Honestly, I mean, this is a no-brainer. Akiho and Subaru, they deserve jobs. They definitely deserve work at somewhere related to all of this. They definitely have some really good expertise on all of this and are willing to put forward the effort in order to make something that is fucking unbelievable.
生で見るのもいいですけど、LO を通して見ると本物のガンバレルが実際に動いている空気感を感じられました。まさに一粒で二度美味しいです。
I'm not sure how you managed to describe this like it was food, but whatever. It's completely true that for everyone here in attendance, that first step had a huge effect on them. Looking up at the crane, Harunaka-san is giving Subaru a powerful handshake. Subaru's grinning wryly in pride. Subaru's usually calm and collected, but he was the center of Model 2's design. I'm guessing he must be super happy about this. I mean, it's a lot of hard work that was done in such a short period of time. And again, these are fucking high schoolers, man. They're putting a lot of their free time into all this, a lot of their time that isn't necessarily free either. Even I never could have predicted our little project would end up like this. This robot of ours might actually stand a chance at the expo. I truly feel that way.
ただですね。
Nison's expression suddenly darkens. She opens her mouth slowly like it's hard to put her words together.
実はすごく急なんですけど。
No, dude, is the expo canceled?
来週までに皆さんにここから撤収してもらわないといけなくなっちゃったんですよ。
Oh. Why is she saying this now? Whoa, hey now, this really is sudden.
撤収ってどういうことです？
さっき緊急の会議があったって言いましたよね。詳しくはそのうち所長からも説明がいくと思いますが、5年ぶりに種子島からのロケット打ち上げが決まりまして。
Wow, okay.
そうなの？
Talk about breaking news. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't excited. Maybe even more so than when Model 2 moved just now. I was convinced that the TNSC would never launch another rocket again.
はい。それでこの大崎第一事務所は発射場から近いでしょ。打ち上げ時には立ち入り禁止になるエリアなんです。セキュリティのこともあって、ここを皆さんに貸すのはこれ以上は無理そうという話が出まして、本当にごめんなさい。
Nison bows her head deeply.
これからセッティング始めるって時期にタイミング最悪だわな。
フラウボンもジュンもどうしてしょんぼりしてるの？またこの島でロケットの打ち上げが見られるなんてすごいニュースなのに。
Well, I don't think they necessarily care about that. They're caring about the project here.
うちたぎってきちゃった。きっと今頃お父さんもたぎっちゃってるはず。
Akiho's speaking from the heart. She's not just trying to be strong right now. She's probably right about her dad, too. He stayed on as chief, believing that this day would come. Akiho knew that. But Frau's right. The timing couldn't be any worse. If we had one more month, we wouldn't have to get kicked out.
それで1週間以内に撤収って決定事項？
はい。交渉して粘ってみたんですけど、全く相手にされませんでした。私もまだまだ新入りなので立場が弱くて力及ばずです。ごめんなさい。
Whenever the TNSC has a launch, the rockets usually arrive on the island months before the launch date. Simultaneously, JAXA and the manufacturers send engineers here to start assembling the rocket in the VAB. The VAB is right through the gate in front of the first Osaki office and up the hill. Considering all of that, it's really sudden to have to push us out within the week.
実は今回の打ち上げ、今年に入ってから決まったみたいなんです。今、現場はてんやわんやで、こんなに無茶なスケジュールは聞いたことがないっていうぐらい。正直、私も戸惑ってます。
Nison seems full of regret, but at the end of the day, the TNSC is a launch site. This is what they do. We were lent this space for free. We have no right to complain. And so with that, we have to withdraw. Fortunately, JAXA will provide vehicles with which to transport Model 2, so we don't need to do much prep work. But considering we just had a successful Model 2 test run, I can't help but feel like we've hit a major bump in the road. No, this is insane, actually. Truly. Alright. After hearing the news yesterday, I've been getting more and more hyped. At this point, I'm practically buzzing with excitement. This is the most excited I've ever been for anything ever. I'm kinda surprised at myself. I didn't think I liked rockets this much. Before my eyes passes a large truck carrying a nearly 4-meter tall cylindrical part moving at around 2 to 3 kilometers per hour. Prefectural Road 586 was built in 2010 to connect Miyamitane to the Tanegashima Space Center. The road is optimized for transporting rocket parts and is pretty much the only 3-lane road on Tanegashima. Naturally, the road was built this wide to smoothly transport rocket parts. It's been 6 to 7 years since the TNSC would launch nearly 3 rockets a year. The site in front of me knocked me way back in time. Whenever it was time for a launch, parts would arrive a few months before launch at Shimama Harbor on the western end, It's a little less than 20 kilometers from that harbor to the TNSC located on the southeastern end of the island. From National Highway 58, they would cut through the center of Minamitane and then jump onto Prefectural Road 586. The vehicles move at a walking pace, so when they came through town, there was plenty of time to go and watch. And so today, with no classes to attend, I've come to watch. The rocket parts are painted black. The H-2A rockets were painted white, so these leave quite a different impression. When it comes to black rockets, the first thing that comes to mind is the Soviets' Soyuz rocket. No idea if I pronounced that right, but that was painted a dark green, which is not exactly black. Apparently JAXA is entrusting a private enterprise with this launch. That explains why everything's so weird and different from years ago. In the past, I would often come to watch the rockets like this. For one, the road has always been close to my house, and back then I had a silly, unattainable dream of becoming an astronaut. But most of all...
ほら、カイ、見て。これが組み立てられて宇宙まで飛んでいくのよ。正しき資質。人だけじゃなくて、ロケットにだってそれがある。ゴー！ホットドッグ、ゴー！
Damn, she was weird when she was younger. Now she's a different type of weird as an adult. Like that, Misune would call out at the rocket parts being slowly carried along the road. Thinking back on it now, she was a pretty strange high school girl, you don't say. But I didn't dislike that about her back then or now.
ホットドッグ
I start whispering it, but an old lady standing nearby gives me an odd look, so I hurriedly look away. I can't help as a pained smile forces itself across my face. Maybe I'll buy a hot dog at the convenience store. Lonzo is within walking distance from here, so why not? That'll be the end of my break. After that, it'll be back to my original goal, hunting down the Kimijima Report.
ゲジネ、今日の探索場所候補を教えてよ。
了解しました。
I guess we're still on the grind. I mean, why wouldn't we, right? Alright, now we'll end this episode. I think it's fairly long enough. And yeah, I did get a little sick, by the way. If you guys wanted to hear the rest of that lovely arc. Yeah, I got a little bit of a sore throat. I think I was just talking too much, and it's been a very, very stressful past couple weeks coming off of my vacation. Honestly, I'm still recording this with a couple videos still ahead of up on my channel, so I don't know when this one will specifically come out, but hopefully I'm feeling all better by then, so no worries there. But yeah, this was quite the episode. It is actually very nice to see progress with one of the main things that is taking place here in this game, so yeah, you know, congrats to the members for actually putting something together that works, and it works really good. But, of course, not everything can go smoothly. I'm very curious to see what's going to come up in this phase that could lead to a bad ending, because we haven't received a bad ending. We've received some really weird endings, but not a bad one. So, very curious to see what's to come as we continue along here. But thank you all for watching this episode. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that fancy jazz, and I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy.